before I start, please, in case anyone can't hear me, right? So just please just try to notify me. You can use the chat box for that. Yeah, thank you. So we're starting now. All right. So okay, we have 14 people now. All right. So I'll be sharing my screen so we can start our class. Don't worry, this class is going to be more of interactive class and doing both theory and practical class. Okay, so let me share my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen, please. Can you see my screen?
No. Empty screen.
Oh,
No.
okay. Um, came coming trying to fix this. Okay, hi everyone. So can you see the screen now? I think I
No.
fixed it already. Okay. Oh wow. Don't know what the problem is. Coming. So I'm currently having issues with Chrome. I'm trying to fix that now. Let me try it again. Okay, it works now.
Yes,
Hello.
ma'am.
All right. Thank you. So let me just hit this. All right. So, all right. So can you all see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can.
All right. Right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I welcome you all to Design Power UI class once again. I'm Fela Molola, a product designer. Okay, so I think I've actually taken a class with the US guys. I think that was last 2 weeks. So good to have you guys here once again. So all right, so we're starting with today's topic, and I'm sure we all know what we're going to be taking today, which is navigations, right? So we're going to be starting with navigations, and we'll be starting out with different kind of navigations we have when designing a product, right? So likes of tap bars, mobile and web notifications, icon tap bar, floating actions, Hamburger and Eclipse menu. Right. So I think some of you might be familiar on what this menu are. So we're going to be starting with navigation. So what is navigation? Navigation in UI design entails creating, accessing and implementing methods for users to navigate across a website or an application. Right. So the word navigation is just like, okay, you trying to like design an application or a website, right? For any action you click on your product or your design, it's actually an navigation, right? So, and I want you guys to know that the best kind of navigation in design is one which actually promotes usability, right? So I was actually telling some, okay, I think the UX guys, that times it's not about the UI. Fine, you're a UI designer, but then you still need to like learn more about what UI is, right? So now we're going to be starting with navigation. So I actually got this quote from NNG, which is Nelson Norman Group. It actually says if users don't notice a navigation menu, they won't use it, right? What this is trying to say is, in as much as you're trying to like create a minimal design, you're trying, okay, because you're a UI designer, you feel like, okay, then I just have to like do this, it looks so beautiful, have a beautiful interface and all that. At times it's not always about that, right? So one thing you should always consider when trying to like design your UIs is you are always like trying to like engage more with your users. You're actually like, okay, try to like pull them through that, okay. And one more important thing you should always try to like know is, before you can do, so I'm actually talking about UI in general, right? You should always know that, okay, it's not only about your features, it's not only about the kind of assets and elements you use. There's some decision that actually informs that, okay, this kind of thing, if you ask any question that why do you put this here, maybe why is your hamburger menu in this, maybe the left hand side of your mobile application, you should be able to give reasons why you put them there, right? What actually informs your design decision? At times, it's not just about, okay, following the trends that is happening, maybe on Dribble, on social media, or something. You should always try to like, okay, there is a reason why I have to put this here and all that. So, we're going to be touching more on this, yeah, on this topic basically. Okay, so I'll be talking about advantages of. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about advantages of navigation menu, right? So we have, it helps to emphasize more on the most important functions, right? Like I said something about navigation menu. At times, it's not just about maybe your hamburger menu, tab bars, or anything. Anything can be your navigation menu. In as much as you just try to like click an action on your product, right? So now, basically, we are going to be talking about the advantages of navigation menu. There are also like maybe disadvantages, but then I'm going to be talking more about the advantage, right? So, like I said, it helps to emphasize more the most important functions. It provides it provides credibility to a product. Yes, it actually provides credibility to a product. In as much as you actually know the reason why you're actually putting this for your users. In as much as you're actually trying to like engage more with your users and feel like, okay, if my users is going to be using this feature or this product, is this something that'll be more usable for them? Is this something that'll be more equitable for them to use, right? So these are several questions you should try to ask yourself when trying to like, design a product for your users. So the third one, it reduces the number of steps in user journey. I'm going to be explaining more on this number of steps in user journey, right? So can you all still hear me? Let me try to confirm. Okay, please, if you can hear me, just
Yes,
try to.
ma'am.
All right. Thank you, thank you. All right, so it reduces the number of steps in user journey. What this means is, let me use a web interface to cite an illustration, right? For example, I'm sure we are all familiar with websites, even if maybe you've not started designing one, but then you are more familiar with websites where you have maybe, if you check your top navigation, we have stuff like maybe your home, your about us, your service, contact us, facts, and all that. If you don't want to put list those content there are people that actually use hamburger menu in websites, right? So in as much as you just try to like click it, it actually shows you the menu that you have there. So these are what actually like reduce the number of steps instead of you just trying to like list instead of you trying to list all features that you actually want your products, you could use this navigation menu to reduce the number of steps that users are going to take. And one other reason is it's going to like give more credibility to them, right? So we also have it also provide users with current location. There is more to this current location, right? I'm going to be touching more on breadcrumbs. Yeah, breadcrumbs. So, for example, let me use the mobile application to set an illustration, or let me use Facebook, right? I'm sure we are all familiar with Facebook, or probably let me say Instagram or something. Okay, let's go to the I think the home page of Facebook. If it, maybe you guys can just try to like open the application and check what I'm trying to say. So when you click on home on Facebook, okay, you click on it, you didn't know that okay, you're on home page. If you click on profile, you know you're on profile page, right? So this is what I mean by saying okay, it actually provide users with current location of where you are on your particular product or feature, right? So these are common navigation. I just want to explain more on this theoretical aspect so we can move more to practical aspect, right? So we have common navigation design patterns, right? We know, like I said, we have a lot of navigation menu we can use in your product. Now we have likes of tab bars, we have hamburger menu, we have icon tab bar, floating action, Eclipse menu, and mobile and web notification. So I'm not sure I'm going to be calling mobile and web notification under navigation design. So mobile and web notification, let me just say it's just like a topic on its own, something, right? So okay, so I'll be starting with the first one, which is tap bars, right? So if you check your Facebook, like I said, okay, so let me just define what tab bars is. So tab bars are mostly used in mobile devices. You'll find them at the top or bottom of your device, right? So if you check Facebook, like I said, you see we have something like so let me try to open my own Facebook in case you can just try to like flow with me, right? So if you check your Facebook, we have home, we have profile, we have notification, we have menu, then we have watch. So those tab bars you can see there, right? Those features you can see, those are what we call tab bars, which is bottom, right? Obviously now if you're with a mobile device, there is something that is underneath your maybe your design or your device. It's called a bottom, right? Because it's actually at the bottom of your device, right? So there are also some called top. You see some tab bars that are actually on top of your maybe of your device or your product, right? But the one Facebook actually makes use of is bottom. And if you check most platform, even on Twitter, on LinkedIn, Instagram, most of them actually make use of mobile of bottom navigation, right? So there is a reason that I actually thought of that could be the reason why they're using the tab bars. This is because there is one rule of thumb, right? Let me see, there is a rule which is called rule of thumb, right? I think it was this guy that wrote it. I think Steve or Uber. I can't remember the name of the author that wrote about rule of thumb. You guys can want to like check it out, right? At times, like I said, it's not about designing the UI just because you are a UI designer, right? So there's stuff that you actually like need to like consider if you're trying to like design any particular product. So looking at this dashboard, transfer, pay bills, and more, these are tab bars. Like I said, I used bottom tab bars here. The reason why I actually use this is maybe for example, someone trying to like design this kind of product and you are asked this kind of question that why did you use this dashboard? Why is it here? Why is it here? You should be able to like answer the question the why. So I'll be giving my own reason, right? The reason why I should make use of this bottom tap bar is because it's actually like I want to obey the rule of thumb. Rule of thumb is maybe, for example, you are holding your device, right? See, if I don't know how to explain this like virtually, but there's something that okay, it's quite easy for you to like touch any particular, let me say like this tap bar. That it's quite easy for you to like touch it, right? Instead of you trying to like stretch your end on top of your device, right? So these are the reasons why I actually like just consider I have to be considerate about using the bottom navigation. And one more reason is quite easy for people to navigate. It's quite easy to access, right? So those are the reasons why I have to make use of the tab bar, which is bottom tab bar, right? Sorry. So I'm going to be touching. If you look at this, we have icons with text, right? So the next one is icon tab bar. So if you look at my little description here, I said design is more than just looks, right? No, I've said this before. Your design covers how user engage and interact with your products, right? So if you look at this, look at the top, the bottom navigation. I'm making use of just icons for me to depict what its future is, right? But looking at this design, there's a whole lot that is wrong with it, right? The reason why I said there's a whole lot that is wrong with it is because in as much as I'm trying to use just icon to depict my features, it's not going to be, let me say it's not going to be usable, right? Let's just be considerate that what if it's a non-tech savvy that is using this kind of product? It might not be easy for them to like understand, right? Me putting a house, let me say, okay, we're all familiar, this is a home icon, right? But what if you're just trying to like, okay, maybe I don't want to use the word illiterate, right? So let me just use the word non-tech savvy, which are people that maybe they're not familiar with maybe devices or how to use a, let me see, how to use a mobile device. Yeah, let me just say that. If they use this kind of product, it might be difficult for them to understand what each icons depicts. So it's actually safe to use icons with text, right? So I'm always, some people just use the icons alone, maybe just because for minimalism, whatever or something. But we advise us, in as much as we're trying to make our design more minimalistic, we should just try to use um icons with text. It's quite safe to use that instead of using just icons alone. I won't advise this. So that's the reason why I had to like just talk about this icon tap bars, because I used to see a lot of it on even on Dribble. And let me say one more thing, right? It's not all design you see on Dribble that is quite usable. No, some people just use it as a playground. Okay, looking at this design, I did this design and I did it not because it's not for a client, right? It's just for, that means I'm just playing around with Figma, right? So I know that it is not usable. But if I am to use design this kind of design for a client, right, I won't be designing this, of course, because I'm going to put a whole lot into consideration. That okay, there are going to be a lot of question the what, how, where, and why actually like use this particular feature or elements, right? So this is just a playground. So for example, now if someone just saw this kind of design on Dribble and you just try to like copy it for a client, no. So that's why it's quite easy for you to like just know the reason why you're actually using a particular a particular feature or your design. So so that's that about that. So let me move to the next one. The next one is Eclipse menu. So Eclipse menu are mostly used on web devices. It's also help for, oh sorry, I wanted to write, it helps for easy navigation, not east. I'll correct that. Sorry about that. For easy navigation in a product, right? Not only on product actually, it's quite applicable to devices, even on our laptop. So I think even if you're using a MacBook, you're using Windows or anyone, just try. Let me just try to cite an illustration on this. Can you all see this? You see this? We have Figma, file, edit, view objects, and all this. But If I click on one, let me say arrange. Can you see this? This is an Eclipse menu. Or let me click on Windows. Okay, this is an Eclipse menu. This is an Eclipse menu. No, I have to just over on each text for me to like see each menu that under it. So this is what we call Eclipse menu. So I sorry about that. So I clicked on, I did one interaction on this. Think this. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to be teaching us how to do this, but I did not really do this very well. But I'm going to be doing the practical class for us. It's just for me to just just show you an example of what I mean by Eclipse menu. So if I click on service, I just over. I did not click on it. I actually over on it. So I have this menu. So this is just an example of what we call Eclipse menu, and I've showed you here. Click on file, you see this. So most people actually use this on websites. Right, you see this, it's quite applicable on websites. So that's for Eclipse menu. So we have Hamburger menu. I'm sure quite of us are quite familiar with Hamburger menu, right? Um, okay, so Hamburger menu are mostly used on mobile and web devices, which opens up a side menu when clicked, right? So I'm going to be using some of my designs for us to like I'm going to be using some of my design to set an illustration for us. So looking at these three lines here, this is what we call hamburger menu. I'm sure some of us are quite familiar with these icons, right? But we do not know that there is a word, or let me say there is a word for it. You see your friends call it, okay, babe, what's up? Can you share me this link to hamburger menu? Yeah, so this is what they mean by hamburger menu, right? So there's a whole lot on this hamburger menu. We have a whole lot actually. So we use this mostly on web and mobile devices, like I said. But I use it most times when it comes to mobile device. When I'm trying to like design a product on mobile, I use it to like just try to reduce the number of steps that I'm going to. Or maybe I just use it to reduce features on a product, right? So this is a particular design I did. Then I'm going to be doing the interaction on that. So the next one is floating action. This is a circle or round icon button elevated above other page content. It helps to provide content, right? So it's not about the plus icon. It could be anything. So that is what we call floating action, or let me say floating button. Don't worry, we're going to be creating something and just show you more on how to create these things. So web notification. So notification ensures the product UI to provide customers with reminders or timely information from your application. I'm sure we are quite familiar with what notification is, right? You can see notification on your Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn as well, right? So that's what we call notification. And I'm going to be taking us on how to create one, right? So let me see if I even do this. All right, so for mobile notification ensures your product UI to, okay, I think I've said this before. So I'm having cough, so sorry about that. So there's a difference between having your notification here and having your notification at the bottom of a product, right? So that is the reason why I had to like tell you guys before we start this class that before you can design any product, before you can use any element in your product, right? There should always be a reason why you are adding these elements here. So is it on top of your device or at the bottom, right? These are questions you need to ask yourself. There is a reason why you are adding this. Don't just put your assets or your elements here just because it's the normal thing to do. Don't follow the trend, like I said. You can even try to like conduct A/B testing for a top, not just a top, right? Actually put it at the top. You know, instead of the bottom navigation, like I show you guys then. You can do
Please, I'm not hearing you.
oh really? Please
You
can
can't
anyone
hear me,
hear me?
ma.
You can't hear me. I can't hear you. Oh Jesus. So you have not been checking the chat box. Wow. Hope I did not hear the explanation of floating action. Oh wow, 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 wow. Please can you hear me now?
Yes, now.
Yes, I can hear you
You
now.
can hear me now. Okay, so where
Yes.
did I stop? Like, okay, where do I need to start from again?
I think you have to start
Floating
from
action.
the floating action when you're trying to explain what floating action is.
Okay, floating action. Okay, let me just try to oh sorry. Floating action. Thank you for calling my attention back to that. So all right, so floating action. Like I said, floating action is a circle or round icon button. So this is a round icon button elevated above other page content, right? So what do I mean by this statement is you can see that it's actually elevated above this content I have here, right? So it actually helps to provide quick access to important action within an application. Can you still get me?
Yes, ma, we can hear you.
All right. Please let me know when you can't hear me. Let me see. Reducing in volume. Okay. Hi, Ayola. Can you still hear me? Ayola, are you there? Okay, you can. Okay, thank you. So, like I said, it's just like a floating, a button that is elevated above your other page content. This is what I mean by floating action. Can you answer this plus icon I have here? This is what I mean by floating action. So, do you get the explanation? I'm going to be teaching you
Yes,
all
ma.
how to. You still can hear me. Miriam Yusuf, please, can you hear me? Miriam Yusuf, can you hear me now? I guess she's not here anymore. Okay, sorry about that, right? So there is a reason why. Okay, let me tell you the reason behind this plus icon, right? So the reason behind this plus icon is because okay, so the reason is because I actually like have to perform some action on this menu. That is why I had to put it here. So it's not a situation you need to like put your floating action or your design on your product, right? So if I click on this plus icon, I want to like add more sales to my product. So there is a reason why I'm adding this. Sorry, there is a reason why I'm adding this floating action to my product because there is a reason behind it. So, like I said, before I move on again, before you add any assets to your design, before you add any elements to your design, there should always be a reason why you are adding them. What informs your design decision? What informs the reason why you put this hamburger menu here, right? So there should always be a reason for that. Like I said, it's always important to create, let me say, A/B testing for your designs, right? So the reason why I'm saying this, or the reason why I'm trying to like claim more emphasis on this, is because like I said, I think I made some difference between bottom and top bars, right? So you can try to like, okay, I don't know if I'm not sure I guess I even familiar with A/B testing. Yeah, sorry about that. A/B testing is just like trying to like do trying to create designs, right? They are the same thing, but there'll be a particular feature that is quite different, right? So what do I mean by this is maybe for example, I try to create a mobile application. I have my notification on, let me say on A. I have my notification on top on the top bar, right? Then the second design, I have my notification at the bottom navigation. So you could try to just oh, Jesus. Sorry about that, please. So you could just try to send out your designs to your users, right? Your target users, those you are trying to like design this product for. You could try to ask them which one would they prefer to use, which one is quite equitable for them to use, right? And remember that you are not designing for yourself. Don't say because okay, I love this design, this is white or minimal, I love the interface. No, just you're not designing for yourself, you are designing for people, right? So just try to always put them into consideration when trying to like design any product. So that's for floating action. So for web notification, can you still hear me? Can anyone still hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
can hear you.
All right, thank you. All right, so the next one is notification. I'm sure we are quite familiar with what notification is, right? So, like I said, notification actually ensures your product UIs to provide customer with reminders or timely information from your application. And notification is not only applicable to your product or maybe design or anything. You can see notification anywhere, even on your laptop, right? Desktop application, web application, mobile, anywhere. You can actually see notification there. So I'm going to be talking more on web notification, right? You can see I have my notification here. I don't know if you all can see this. No, we all know what notification icon is. Just like this bell icon, right? So I had to like put mine there. And if someone asks me that why do I have to like put my notification there? Why is it on top? Why not side menu? Right. So I actually put that there because it's something that I really want to like call user attention to, because they will keep receiving notification on this particular product that I designed. Right. So it's quite more usable for me to like put it there. So like I said, it's not always about just designing because you saw this particular design on Dribble, on Beyonce, right? In as much as anyone, I keep saying it, if anyone asks you a question, why do you have to put this here? Or probably you're having a stakeholder meeting, right? Why do you have to put this notification here? Why not here? Give them a reason, give them a tangible reason why you are adding this asset to the top navigation and not the side menu, right? So I'm going to be teaching us all this. This is just like just for me to like set an illustration on web notification. If I click on this notification, it brings me here, right? So this is I'm trying to like assume that I've not gotten any notification. Probably I'm just a new user, right? So like I said, no notification yet. Notification will show up here, right? So maybe probably I'm not trying to like do more operation on the product. I get like receive more notification. So this is for existing user and this is for a new user that not received any notification. So is that clear? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. It's
Okay, is that
clear.
clear?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, thank
Yes.
you. So
Yes, ma'am.
moving on to mobile notification, right? So like I said, I used Facebook, I used LinkedIn, I used I think Twitter as well for me to set an illustration on mobile notification. I think Facebook has their own on the bottom navigation. That is where they have their own notification on mobile, right? So if you check, I think there is one. I can't remember the application that makes use of top notification. I think it's I can't remember actually, but I think most people actually like use bottom notification, right? And there's a reason behind it. So for this product, so let me just say this is just basically UI. This design is just UI. I never considered the UX part of it. Yes, reason is because it's not a client project. It's not a product that is going live, right? I was just trying to like just play around with designs. Do you get it? So, but the reason why most people that I know, the reason why they have to make use of bottom notification is because of this rule of thumb. I think I keep saying this rule of thumb of a thing, and this is not only applicable to navigations, right? Please, there is one thing about, let me say, UX. Don't try to stress your users. See, it's quite easy for us to like have more conversion rate to bouncy rate, right? Reason is because see, the more you try to like keep your designs more difficult for users to use, you won't see them on your product. Do you get it? So always try to like consider all this before you try to use any element, or before you try to like just close your design decisions, right? So this is very, very paramount for us to like use. So I'll keep begging us for us like always, let's be considerate when trying to like design anything, please. So like I said, this is for mobile notification. If I click on this notification, I see this, right? So that's for mobile. Then I'll be talking more when we start the practical class. So I think that's all. um Thank you for, hello.
I
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, thank you. So I think that's all from my end for the theoretical part of this class. We'll be moving on to the practical aspect. So is there any question before I move on? Please, let's do well to ask question, please. I really want this class to be more of an interactive class, right? And remember that no question seems awkward. Any question, just try to ask any question you would like to ask. No question. Should I assume there is no question? Hello, I want someone. Okay, you have it. Yeah, Julius, write down, please.
Okay, yeah, good morning. Thanks for the class. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so you mentioned the rule of thumb, and that's for mobile, like
Yeah,
for mobile design. So when we
yeah.
are designing for web, like maybe desktop or laptop, is there
Okay.
any like what can we relate that to? I don't know if you understand.
Okay, so are you okay? If I get your question right, are you saying maybe if there's anything like rule of thumb on web?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Since we are
Um,
not, since users are not interacting with their hand, you get.
yeah. So you've already even answered the question yourself. Yeah. So there is nothing like rule of thumb on web. It's just basically more applicable to mobile because we are all making use of um touch screens, right? So in as much as you're trying to like just interact on your web, you're trying to interact with your hand, right? So accolade. Do I answer your question, Julius?
Clear now. It's clear now. Thank you.
Accolade, yeah, please write down.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning, accolade.
Yes, ma. I wanted to ask, when you were talking about notification, you said people add it down because of the rule of
Yes,
thumb. And
yes.
I know that people add notification like at the upper part because of attention. So
Okay,
in a case where we are trying to like balance both, we want it to be very, very obvious. And at the same
okay,
time, we want it to be very, very accessible. How can we
okay.
go about that?
Okay, so like I said something about trying to engage more with your users when trying to like design anything on your product, right? So this kind of question you ask, I won't say let me say it's not something I can answer, but I'm going to be giving you an insight, right? So just imagine that you create a product for A, maybe say for Nike, you create another product for Moin. Do you get? So you try to like send out these designs to them, and Nike chose the notification that is at the top bar. Moin chose the notification that is at the bottom navigation. Do you get? So how do you try to like balance these two? So to me, when trying to like create anything like A/B testing, I will advise you do A/B testing with 3 people, right? Which is odd numbers. The reason is because you are going to have at least two, let me say 2 people that is going to choose the exact maybe let me say a particular feature that they like, right? And don't just say it because they actually choose this. You like just have to like, okay, look at them as they're trying to like interact with the product, right? Some people don't even know what they want, but just try to like study their gestures, just try to like study how they tend to like interact with that particular product, which actually assume that, okay, I think this one works more for users, right? So the reason why I can't answer your question is because both works. I won't lie to you. Do you get? Both works, but most people, and me, if you ask me, I would say it's quite easy for you to create, for it to have your notification or your bottom navigation, all in the name of rule of thumb, right? Because it's quite easy for me to access notification at the bottom navigation instead of the top navigation. Do I answer your question? But then just know that you have to like, okay, always carry your users along and see which one is quite easy for them to use, which one is quite easy for them to navigate. Do you answer your question, accolade? Okay, yes, okay. Um Ayola Young, which of the navigation type is mostly used for mobile apps? Okay, so when you're talking about which one is mostly used, I won't say okay, it is hamburger, I won't say it is top bars, right? So each of these navigations, they have their own usefulness. They have their own advantage, they have their own cons and pros, right? So the thing is, it actually depends on the kind of products you want to build for your users, right? So now let me tell you one disadvantage about um I think hamburger menu, yes. So most people, the thing is, when you're using your side menu, this no, I think your hamburger menu, I guess, it's not a situation you try to like use your hamburger menu, right? One of the cons of hamburger menu is you're not trying to like catch more users' attention. And before you can create your hamburger menu, I will advise you not to put important information on your hamburger menu, because in as much as you're trying to like create your hamburger menu, it means there are less features that are not that important to users, right? Yes, it's not that important. If you check, I think likes of Bolt or Uber. I don't know which one has. I think Bolt or Uber. I can't remember. You see, it's not. If you look at it, the most important feature is not on the side menu. I think they have just the card, like payment something, right? So that's just it. So just assume that you have map on your hamburger menu. You can see it's not quite usable for users because the main important thing I want to see when I open my boat is just for me to like see how to order for a ride. Do you get it? But in as much as I'm putting maybe order a ride on my hamburger menu, it means it is not that important, right? So you don't, and one thing is don't make users think. Yes, it's very, very important. Don't make them think. And always remember you're trying to make something for, you're trying to make your design more easy for them to use. So I would say you guys should always try to like make your design more easy for users to engage with. Do you understand? Ayola Young, do I answer your question? Ayola, sorry, can I get respond? All right, thank you. Is there any other question before we move? I think we have 6 more minutes for the theoretical class. So in case anyone has any question, let's just try to round it up before we move to the practical class. Um, any other question? Please let's try to think. Ask and just ask me any question you would like to. All right, so let me assume you don't have any questions. So we're moving on to the practical class. Um, okay, so this is our practical. So I'll be using this. I'll share this slide with you guys. Let me try to share it now so we can in case you might want to join me on this board, so you guys can have access to the link. So I have both my slides on the link and the playground. The playground is where we'll be trying to like perform different navigations, right? So you can try to click on the link and join me. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I need more response. How many are we? Okay, take okay. We are 26 here, so please, in case you can't see my screen, just try to call my attention to that. Um, okay, so I'll be starting with the first one. We have tap bars, right? So let me try to bring this to the. So you guys can just try to observe me. Just click on my profile and observe what I'm doing. So I'm going to be using this particular design as an illustration. And don't forget we are trying to like create tap bars. Like I said, this is what I call tap bars. So let me just try to, oh, this is an image set. Okay, so let me just try to bring in another one. That's an icon. Let me see if this one is not. Okay, so this one is not an image. So hope you guys can see this. So just come here. So let me assume I'm trying to create let me say fintech application, right? So I'm sure we can make use of Figma at some point, right? So this is what I make use of most times. I use iPhone X Max, ZX Max, but I use the size actually. So one thing you should always consider when trying to like start your design is you should always try to make use of grid. It's always important, right? For consistency and alignment's sake. Please, I will always advise us to make use of that. So this is what I use for my grid. I use size of 10. For my columns, I use for my margin, I sometimes use 24 or 20. So let me use 20. So what I do for my grid is I use multiples of 8 most times, right? It's quite safer to use multiples of 8. Then if you know maybe for mobile, you can use multiples of 8 or 4 for your mobile. So I just give you a hint on grid, right? So just now I just tried to like create just a tab bar. So I'll be working more on the bottom navigation. So before you see this kind of thing, just now there's a whole lot that was put into this, right? So let me start with one. So let's say, for example, this is an icon. You know, I said something about an icon, right? Trying to like use okay, so let me ask a question. Is there anyone familiar with components on Figma? Is anyone familiar with components? Like maybe they've taught you guys on component or something. Please, I need your response so we can move faster on
Yes, ma,
this.
we've been taught.
Okay, component. What about auto layouts?
Yes.
All right, so it's be easy for us to start this class. So I'll be using components, I'll be using auto layout for us to create this tab navigation, right? So like I said, it's not a situation that you just say, okay, because I saw this on Dribble, I saw this on Behance, then I have to go for it, right? No. So if you can see this, these are my common features that I just need to add on this particular product I did, right? So I'm going to be doing the same thing with these lessons. So let's say thank God you're more familiar with components. So let's say, for example, let me just try to break this one out. Sorry. So you can use any icons you want. So let's say we are trying to use just these 4 icons. Um, So I want to detach the instance and create another component for us. What does this actually signify? Let's say it signify favorites, right? So maybe I want to add it to my favorites. So whatever icons you want to use on your product, just try to like create a component for your icons first for easy access, and also for it like, okay, maybe you want to like navigate through or change any icon of your choice. It's quite easy for you to do that, right? So this one actually depicts home, so it's there already. This depicts cards, right? Then this depicts profile. So let me just try to give everything one color. Let me use black so we can. What I'm doing so far, please hope I'm not speaking in Spanish. Like, are you guys flowing with what I'm trying to say or what I'm trying to do? Yes, yes. Okay, okay, okay. All right, thank you. So far you guys are familiar with it. So we have this. So I'm going to like create a component for this. Reason is because, for example, out of my icons pack, maybe it's just this one I want for my top, for my bottom navigation. So I just try to break them out. You see, everything are all in frames, right? So you could just try to like take everything like this. Come here. Can you see this? Just create a component set. Can you see this? So you can try to like name this as tab bars. So I'm sure you saw something about this tab bars, right? I start with I'm using a camel case for my naming. And one more thing, I will always advise us to name our frames. You see, of the frames we have here, it's quite like, how do I? Okay, the reason why I'm trying to tell you guys to name your frame is because it will be easy for developers to know which features they want to implement or something. But just trust me, it's very, very safe to use to name your frames. And the reason why I'm using this camel case, and I'm starting with small letter to cap lock, right? So because this is the naming convention developers use, so it's quite easy for us to use that in our designs. So now that we've already created a component set for this icons, right? So if you look at this, sorry, let me. So if you look at this, right, can you all see this? Notice that all the icons I've created, right? So it's quite easy for me to change. Maybe I want to change to cards. Can you see? I want to change to profile. It's very, very easy. Instead of me trying to like copy and paste icons, just know that it's worth it. Try to create everything, your components, and everything you can do. So I'll be starting with one first. I'm still going to create another component for active and inactive, right? So let me use another color to depict this. Let me write my text first. So let's say, for example, we have dashboard, right? So far you guys say you're familiar with auto layout. I'll be using auto layouts with this lessons. So let me try to use spacing of 4, right? Auto layout, put it in the center. So this is for, so I'm going to be changing this color to blue. And let me create another one. I want to give you guys an example of what I'm trying to do. Then this one, let me use a gray for it. I think the gray is too sharp. Okay, so let me use this and change this to regular. So I hope you guys can see the difference between these two. So let me try to bring it here and show you what I'm trying to say. If you look at this, there's a difference between this and all this. The difference is this one is active, right? Why is it active? It is active because I am on the dashboard page, right? If I click on transfer, this color becomes gray, then this one becomes blue because it shows that it is active. These are what you need to put into consideration, right? You have to give users this insight that they're on this particular location. I said something about location, right? If I click on pay bills, are you getting it? If I click on pay bills, this one changes to blue, then this one changes to gray. So that is what I'm trying to like do here. So let me now go back to this place. So now we have this one. Let me just, okay. So there's a difference between these two, right? This one, the typography, I'm making use of semi-bold. and I'm making use of regular for this one. The reason is because now I want to make my dashboard active, then this one is inactive, right? So do you build icons? So no, I don't build icons. I use icon libraries. So I'm making use of, this is icon sacks. No, this is iconly, actually, iconly. So you can check Figma community. I'm sure you guys know how to look for icons, right? There are different sites also for icons, flat icons. You have iconly, you have a whole lot of icon sites. So it depends on the kind of pack you want to use. Do you get it? So am I still flowing? Do you still understand what I'm trying to say? No, Yusuf Minat, please. What is it you don't understand? Please ask question, no Minat. Please ask question. So before I move on. Minat. Okay, so I think she's not here again. All right, so let me move on. So the reason why I'm trying to like create all this, I'm trying to like create my component first before I try to design anything, right? So you see that all this I'm trying to do, it's going to like make your design more easy for you to do. So the same thing I did there, you can change this frame to active, right? Change this one to inactive. So I try to join both, then create a component set. Can you see? So if you don't want to go to this method, but it's quite easy for you to just for you to combine both and combine both and just change it to component set. If you don't want to go to this route, another route is come here. Sorry, just create component for each of this frame. This one is a component. This one is a component already. Do you get? They could just try to like join both and combine as variants. Please, do you understand what I just did now? Please, I don't understand that you change the dashboard components to gray. Okay, so how did I change this one to gray? It's nothing much. I just try to change the color. The reason why I'm changing the color is because I want to cite a difference between inactive and active stage. Do you get it? Now, if you look at what I did here, just assume I have this one to be the same color with this. You know, it's not going to be easy for me to understand the kind of location where I am. Do you get? So that is why I'm just trying to like make a difference between an active stage and inactive stage. Do you get? So that is the reason why I'm trying to like change the component. So there is nothing much. I just try to let me bring it again. This one, just know where to change colors, right? So I've already created my color component. So that is why it's just easy for me to change to gray. So that's just what I did. Marina, did you get it? Okay, you said if you know how to search for icons. Okay, you don't have to search for icons on Figma community. Okay, so let me just quickly show you that. So just come here. Can you see this home page? Come here. Then you come to explore community. Right? Just search for icons. Just put it icons. It's going to bring lots of different. Can you see all this? These are icon pack. You can even make use of plugins. I'm sure we are familiar on how to use plugins, right? So this is in case you want to use plugins, you want to use files. So you could just come here. Let me try to do one. Let me use this one. So just come here. Can you see this? I think this one is for duplicates. Come here, click on it. Then it's going to open another file for you. Can you see? So let me just try to load it. Can you see? So this is the icon library. So this is it. So in case you're trying to like create a product and these icons, it actually depicts the kind of products you want to build for your users or for your clients, right? So you can just like try to copy. So this is what I used to do. I might just copy oh, this is an image save. Oh, why is it an image? I don't know. So I think they don't want to make it. I'm not sure it is free then. Oh, no wonder. This is not a free icon. You have to go to UI8 to buy this. So let's make use of a free icon. Let me see. Let me check this one if it's free. So let me see this. These people have already created their own components already. I love the way they did this. So it will be easy for them to navigate through outline icon, um, bold icon, and duotone. So let me see. But do you get what I just did now? So you can just like try to copy these icons and paste on the design file you're working with. So that is what I mean by how to search for icons on Figma community. Did that answer your question, Miriam?
Yes, you did.
All right, thank you. All right, so in case anyone has any question, please, maybe when we are done with the class, you could just try to. So I'm trying to make let us. I'm trying to make this class as fast as possible. So, do anyone understand the reason why I have these two um sets? Do we understand why we have this? So this is for inactive. This for active, right? So let me see. Okay, yes. All right, thank you. So now let's start, right? So just try to. Oh, sorry. So just try to copy, right? So let me copy this. Duplicate, right? So if I duplicate this, I'm trying to make the first one active, just like this one, right? So the one other reason why I'm trying to like create a component set for this is because it's quite easy for me to change from active to inactive, from inactive to active, right? So obviously this one should come to inactive. Can you see this? So you can just try to like duplicate again. Then let me try to like create four for us. So do we understand what I did here? Do you understand before I move on? So okay, yes. All right, so you cannot start changing your text. Maybe this one is for services. And I'm just trying to create something random. This one, oh, sorry. Let me say this one is for airtime. This one is for transfer, right? So it actually depends on the kind of product you are trying to build, right? So this is what I just do. How to lay out everything, and the spacing is 45. Let me try to use 20. So we have, let me use 24. So it just depends on your spacing, right? So let me see this. Let me try to bring it here. So you see, we still have we still have spacing, right? So we have to like stretch it to this place. For you say you get familiar with auto layout, for us to stretch it, we can just try to change this one to space between. So we can try to like stretch this. So do we get this? So this is how I create my own bottom navigation. So we could give it a padding of 20. If 20 is not too much, let me give it a few color. Let me change the background to so we get like to the difference, right? So I'm sure this one is not much for us to do. So can you see this? Right? So in case it just depends on the kind of design you want to do, you can also stretch it to the end, right? So do we get this? So this is just how to create a simple bottom navigation. So for your service, let me change this one to cards because that's kind of um we have profile. I'm trying to like use the icon, then we have favorites, or let me say bookmark, right? So now to change the icon, just click on this one and come here, change it to cards, change this one to profile, change this one to bookmark, to favorite, I mean. So do we understand this? You can see it's within just 5 minutes we are done. In fact, before 5 minutes, we are done creating a bottom navigation. There's some people that actually go through the long route, but really, we really don't want to go through the long route, right? So just create this. In case you want to change this one back to inactive. Can you see? So change this one to active, it changes. Can you see? So that is it's just easy. So for example, I'm trying to create my features on dashboard. This one becomes active, right? Then others become inactive. I want to create my features on profile, right? Change this one back to inactive, change this one back to active. So do we understand what I just did now? Do we understand? Can you see? I'll be going to the long route. So it's just easy. See, with the help of components, with the help of auto layouts, you'll be able to switch between components, right? So can you come again with how you switch those icons on the component? All right, sure. Let me come back. So I said I created a component for my icons first, right? So the reason why I'm actually doing this is because I want to like make it easy for me to switch between the icons I'll be using. But wait, let me ask a question. Hope I'm not too fast. Like, hope I'm not too fast for you guys.
Kind of fast.
I'm kind of fast. I did not come attention. So sorry, so sorry. Hope I'm not too fast. But easy. Oh, okay. Sorry. The reason why I'm trying to like make all this fast because we have a lot to cover up, and this is after 11. And okay, but easy. Sorry. So this is what I'm trying to like make this one more fast is because you guys said you're familiar with component and auto layout. So I just assume you guys know how to use it. So let me come again. Do you all want me to come again? Okay, I should come again. Okay, should I start from the beginning on how to create? The explaining is okay, but a bit fast. Okay. Yeah, sure. I've sent you guys the link. Let me share the link again. Switch the icons. Abdul Kudus, this is the link. Accolade, please. I'm going to ask you, what's the question before I start?
Uh, sorry, um, in a class that I was taking before now, we did auto layout and we kind of understood this part. But in this process now, you have like different kind of components, like one
Okay.
component for all the O icon, then another set of components for like active and inactive states.
Okay.
So now when we created the stuff, I thought it's just going to be like only only the component that is related to that, only the component that you copied from that will be available. I don't know if you understand what I'm
I
saying.
don't
Like,
understand your question.
okay, let's assume you copied the first one, like the first component that you did, then you
Okay.
duplicated it. That's like
Use this
creating an
one.
instance. Yeah, let's say you duplicated that.
Okay.
So
Okay. I
so you have like
duplicated.
an instance. So me, I,
Exactly.
I always think the only one you can only change from the left one to the right one, and you cannot change to the one above.
No,
I
the
don't know if
one
my question
above.
is
Do
clear.
you mean the icon above or where?
Yeah, like since you copied this from this,
Okay.
you cannot change the icon, like, because that's
No,
another
no.
set
The reason why
entirely.
I can change the icon, like I said, is because I've already created a component for my icons already. Do you get? So this is not only applicable to bottom navigations. It could be applicable. Okay, let me just show you a product I'm designing. I'm coming. Let me show you what I did for these products. So I had to create my component. Can you see this? I had to create my component and style guide, right? So this is the icon set I was using. But out of this icon set, I had to pick just three of it. Can you see? This is the icon set already. Can you all see this? This is my icons. I have bold outline, I have bold for my icons. So I just try to like pick the ones I'll be using. But of course, it's not possible for you to use all of these icons, right? It's not possible. So I just picked the ones I know that I'll be using my products. Do you understand? So that is also what I did and created a component for it. So if I switch this one here, so let me try to bring this one here, right? So can you see this? These are all the components I created. Because I've already created a component for these icons, that is why I can see it. So I can just switch. Let me switch to home. Can you see? I can switch to refer. I can switch to any icon I want. Do you understand that part? So now look at this. The question you're asking is, like I said, before you start anything that has to do with a product, just try to create your component and style guide first. Do you understand? So you can, like, it's quite easy for you to change between components, between text component, between icon component or something. So this is what, let me just start from the beginning, right? So let me just bring this icon. So please let's try to listen attentively. So maybe for example, let me bring this icon here, right? So let's say for example, I'm trying to use this pack from my design. Let me just pick few of it. Let me just say I want to use this ones, right? So using looking at this, you can see the idea of component, but we advise you not to use the component because if you use this component already, it's not going to work. So what you could just do is just try to detach. Can you see? Detach instance. If you detach it, it becomes a frame. Can you see this? So what you could just do is come here, just try to like create a component set for it again. Create component set. Do you understand now? So it is very, see, this is to be very, very easy for you to navigate through. For example, this is an instance, right? So maybe I want to change to this one, clipboard. Can you see it changes already? I want to change to this one, it changes. I want to change to this one, it changes. So this all this is happening because I've created my component set already. Hope I am not too fast again. Exactly. Before you design a product, first create component and style guide. Exactly what I'm trying to like say. So look at what I did here. I've created my style guide already. Be it my colors, be it my typography, be it my assets, even for my illustrations, be it icons. Can you see this? All these are components for buttons, for input fields. All these are components basically. Can you see? I have a lot of components for this product. But really, I don't want to bore you guys too much. So let me just continue what I'm doing. So I don't know if you guys understand what I just did there again. So just like create a icons, just icon components before you start anything. Do you understand now? Okay, your speed is okay, understood. Which one is no, Mark? Accolade. You just said no. So let me ask, how did you create the active and inactive? Yeah, I'm going to answer this. What plugin can we use to download real Facebook icon or Chrome icon? Okay, so I can't answer this question. Yeah, so why not? I don't know, but for the exact icon they use, I'm not sure we can get it because it might be part of the design system. Do you understand? So it's quite advisable to just use something similar, right? So for the home page, you can use one for Facebook homepage or anything. Do you understand that? So I'm not sure where you can get those icons. It might be something they don't want to release. Do you understand? So I've created my components, my icon component already. So what I did first, let me delete this one so I don't confuse you guys again. So for example, I've created my icons, right? So let me now start. Just try to duplicate this one. Now let me start with this. Duplicate this, right? So you can see it's now an instance of this one. You can see the difference between um this one and this one. Do we all know the difference? This one, this is the parent, this is the child. You can see the icon. Look at this. You can see that this one is different from this one, right? So what you just do is just try to copy this and paste it outside. Don't paste inside this already. So just try to like, okay, text. So I have maybe home page, right? Auto layouts. We can do auto layout now, right? Exactly. It's possible they design the icons themselves, which is what we call custom icons or custom illustrations. Yes, you can get the icon in the next video and import to your design. Yeah, of course. So, do you understand what I just did here? I just tried to use auto layout and set it to the middle. So, what I did is this. Then I can duplicate this one again. The reason why I want to duplicate this is because I want to create active and inactive states, right? So let me say, for example, we have this one to be regular. Do you get? So what I'm trying to do here is just try to lay more emphasis on your active states and inactive states. Do you get it? For me to lay more emphasis on it, I could just try to make this one semi-bold, right? Then this one should remain on regular. To lay more emphasis on it, I can try to change the color of this, maybe to the primary color. Do you get? So I try to change this one. Then this one remains gray. So it's not that obvious to use. So am I still flowing well? Do you know the difference between
Yeah.
these two now? So I'm just trying to lay my emphasis on active and inactive states. So just come here, give this one a component, the same thing also a component, right? So you can just try to name this as active states. This one also inactive. So it's easy for you to like, okay, switch between these components. So what you could just do is come here, take the two of them together and combine it as a variant. Do you understand? Can you see if already created it as a variant already? So now for me to now start with my bottom navigation. So this I can just try to rename it as tab pass. Am I still flowing? Sorry that you could not hear me well. I'm having cough, so I'm just trying to like take up this class as okay. Is it possible to switch between component without converting to variant? No, you have to convert to variant before you can switch components. So now let me start. Like what I did for this one, right? Bring it here also. Do you get? So bring this one outside, duplicate it. Do you understand? So now we have this one to be active. So far, I've already created a component for this one. I don't need to switch again. Just come here and change this one to inactive. Do you understand? Then we can try to duplicate this. Duplicate. So what you just need to do here is just change your text and your icons. Come here, change your home to cart icon. Change this one to profile. Change this one to favorite. Right? So you can now change your text. Right? So you get like tell user that this is a cart page. This is a profile page, right? Then this is a favorite page. Am I still flowing? Okay, you understand now. So am I still flowing well? All right, thank you. So now we have this one. So you just trying to change this one to gray. So now that we have this, we can now convert everything to auto layout now, right? So let me try to tidy up this one first. So we have the same spacing, auto layouts. Can you see this? So let me give it a padding of, let me say 20. I hope 20 is not too much. Then give it a fill color. So you can now bring it here. Let me delete this one. Take it to the middle and bring it down. Do you get? So I said something about the layout. You can see that if I want to stretch this, it's not flowing well, right? So for it to flow well, for it to be balanced, come here and change it to space between. See what I'm trying to say? Can you see? So it's just gets like flow with you as I'm trying to design it. Can you see? We've just created a tab, a bottom tab navigation, which is the same thing here. Do we understand now? So far you guys are familiar with the, you guys have access to the Figma file. So You can switch between components now. Maybe I want to switch this to inactive. I want to switch this to active. I want to switch this to inactive to active as well. Do we understand now? So it's just easy like that. So that's for bottom navigation. Do we understand now? Do we all understand? All right. So what you guys can just do is just go through the Figma file again and just study how I did this. Right. Just study more on it. So that's for that. So the next one is hamburger menu. Like I said something about this hamburger menu, right? So this is what we call hamburger menu, these three lines. So don't be surprised if someone tell you that, okay, Nifemi, please can you send me this link to your hamburger menu, right? So don't be surprised that, okay, this is what she meant by hamburger menu. So now for us to create an hamburger menu. Like I said, hamburger menu actually it is applicable to both mobile and web designs, right? So let me just right. Okay, so I used it here. Let me try to copy it and bring it to this file. So this one, let me just use this one. So this one is not for mobile device. This one is for mobile responsiveness. So this is for mobile responsiveness, right?
Sorry.
So yeah, right on. You Marina, you're saying something. Hello? Okay,
I
so
think
let's
she
continue.
said sorry.
Oh, thank you, Marina, thank you. So for our hamburger menu, we have something like this, right? You know, I told you that there should always be a reason why you try to use a hamburger menu, right? So let me show you the interaction between this. I did an interaction for it. Oh no, okay, but to this, then this one. So let me just try to play this prototype and show you um, what I mean by hamburger menu. So it's just me having my menu. You just try to like reduce the user journey. Can you see it? So if I click on cancel, it cancels. If I click on this hamburger menu, I have my menu already. So this is what I want to see. Do you understand? Do you understand this interaction before I continue? Do you understand? All right, thank you. Let me see my response. All right, thank you. So it will be easy for us to start now. So so now we have this, right? So now let me start. This is my hamburger menu. Do you get it? So let's assume we are trying to create for mobile. Let me use this one also. So you can just turn on your grid, right? So we have this. Aside from, let's make it a real application. So we have I'm just trying to see how we can make it a real application, right? So we have this. Okay, so now we have our hamburger to be here, right? So let's say, for example, I'm trying to create a menu, and this one is not enough for me. Maybe I want to create a settings page. I want to create, maybe the project is large, it's a large product, right? So just so that your hamburger can help you to reduce the number of steps a user needs to take to perform an action. So you could just use your hamburger menu for it, right? So what you just need your hamburger menu is just an interaction between this one and the cancel button, basically, right? So like I did what I did in this icons, I can try to do it here, right? So let me just bring out the icon, or let me detach this and I'll go. So let's say, for example, I have just this one. I have this one as well, right? So you could just try to create a component set. Just make sure you are using a component set for your designs, so it will be easy for you to navigate. Combine it as variants, do we see? So it's quite easy for us to switch. So I've not even renamed this one. Rename this as a console icon. Then this one menu icon. So you can switch um, console. Okay, this one should not be an icon. So that's for hamburger menu. So it's just about creating action. I don't think I need to do any operation on this, right? So maybe you want me to do it. So we're using this particular one as well to explain this. So I'm using the same thing also for this one, right? So let me try to create a component for this one also. So let me detach this. You could just try to do this. Do you get? No, I have this, not a layout. So I want to do this. So you could just try to give it a margin of, let me say 20. No, 20 is too much. 14. Okay, let me just give it a pad. Let me say 32, right? So let me say 40. Hope I'm still flowing. Am I still flowing well? Like, do you guys really understand what I'm trying to do?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So I'm trying to like create this for you. So what you could just do is change this one also to gray. We want to create active and inactive state as well. So just try to create a component set for it. Um, Change this one to active as well. You can see that the tab bar and hamburger menu, they're trying to like serve the same actions. So this one is inactive. Um, we have just few minutes more to finish this class. So now, what you can just do is come here as well, duplicate this one, right? Then we have this one. You can change this one to, this one should be, let's leave it as side menu or hamburger menu. So what I'll try to do, hamburger menu, right? So we have this. Oh wait. Um it's telling us that we don't have an active state for this hamburger menu. Oh, sorry, I did not detach my components. That is why it's giving me this error. Yeah, so sorry about that. Let me just try to start this again. Let me detach it. So let's say, for example, we have this, right? So we have um then the same thing applicable to this. We have active, we have inactive, right? So just change this color for inactive to gray. So we just try to lay more emphasis on our designs. So we could just try to create a component for this, a component for this, then we combine it as a variant. Can we see this? Variant. So let's try to bring this one here, right? So let's duplicate. So if I change this one to inactive, can you see I'm trying to do this? You can see that the one I created here also, I also lay more emphasis on this because this one I'm on the sales page. I have to lay more emphasis on this, right? So let me give this one a background fill color for blue. Then let me say 40. Well, let me just reduce it here, right? So you can see there's a difference between. Let me give it a border radius of 6. So it does depend on how you want to design your active and inactive menu. Do you understand my point now? So just try to duplicate this one as well. Let's give it a spacing of, let me say 8 or 4. No, 4. Let me say 4, 4. Okay, so we can just try to do away with this stats, right? Um, so we have this, right? So just change this one to cards, this one to profile, then our icons, card icon, profile icon. So this is for this. So in case you want to change, you are done with your own page, you can change your own page to inactive. Do you understand? You're done with cards, you can just change it to active. Can you see how easy it is to switch between your components, right? So that's for our. So we could just try to like give it a background. Let me give it a background. So we have auto layout it again. Then we give it a background of whites. Let's say a padding of 56. Oh, 56 is too much. Let's say 32. 32 is too much. 20. Okay, I think 20 is fine. Can you see this? So it will be easy for us to like navigate through. So just like what I did here, if I click on this one, I have this. Do you get? So let me just try to prototype this. I have this. On click, open overlay, right? So we have close when clicking outside. Wait, are we familiar with prototyping? How do you save icons for you to pick and use easily? I don't understand that question, Chidima. Do you just join the class? Nifemi, maybe if you don't understand, maybe I don't need to go through prototyping. Probably you guys are still going to work more on prototyping, but let me just show what I'm trying to do. So if I play this, let me try to play it and show you what I'm trying to. Can you see? It is centered because I have it on the center. So just try to check your prototype center. Let's use manual. So we have this. And now it's going to change. Can you see it? So let me restart it. If I click on this, I have this. Please, do you understand what I just did now? That is the example of what I did here. If I click this, I have this. If I click my cancel, I have this back. So that is just what Hamburger is all about. Do we understand? Okay, okay. Minat, you don't understand. Nifemi, don't understand. Okay. What is this you don't understand there? So I can go back. So honestly, this is not something that is hard. So if you just like come into this Figma fan, just play around with it again. And trust me, you're going to understand. Check every interaction I did, check every component I did on this, and you're going to like understand everything I've done. So should we move on to the next one? So this icon bar, there is nothing much on these icons. It's just basically having, I said something about this. I'm not sure I'm supposed to do it, but I would advise you guys not to do this icon tabs. It's just basically having um it's just basically having your icons, your tab bar without a text. So this is just what we call icon tab bar. It's just icons. And I hope you understand the reason why we are not using this format. Please, I would advise not to use this format at all in your designs. Do we understand the reason why I said you should not use this? Do we understand? Okay, thank you. So if
Yes.
maybe you're not here before, the reason why I said we should not use this because you might be designing for non-tech savvy, right? They might not get to understand what this icon mean. They might not understand what this mean. So it's quite easy for you to like use it with a text. So they know that they're on the profile page, they're on cart page, they're on home page. Do we understand? So that's for icon tabs. So I will advise us not to use it. But I think I should just okay. But you guys can just use it to play around with your designs. So for floating action, nothing much on this floating action, right? So let me use this one as well again. Let me use this one. Nothing much on your floating action. It just comprised of this one. Just your text. Let me detach. So let's say for example, this is my icon. I have a plus icon, right? So you can just try to put it inside a circle frame. Do you understand? So nothing much about it. It just depends on the kind of product you want to build. Maybe it actually entails you for you to add a floating action, a floating button action for your designs. So this is where we always use our floating actions. It's always here, right? It is always here, always here. So that's for our floating action. Do you understand the floating action? Okay, please, what is this detach? What's the detached thing? Why did the need to cause? So I don't understand. Can you try to rephrase your question, Ayola? Please just try to rephrase. So for the floating action, the reason why I had to add this here is because let me show you where I'm using this product. So okay, let me just try to do the prototype of this. So if I click on prototype, can you see this? Let me just try to. If I click on this plus icon, I want them to see this. So let me just click on the line and trace it. So can you see? This is for the plus icon. So now let me play it for you guys to see. Um, I'm coming. I want to play it so you guys can get like understand what I mean by floating icon. So because we can't, it's not something we can do now. It's going to take a whole lot of time. So it's not all cases you make it of a floating action. It depends on on the kind of product you are building, right? So let me just show you what that interaction is saying when I click on my floating action. So um pending the time that is going to load, let me just continue. But do we understand all what does is referring to the detach distance? Okay, so detach is just for it like detach from component to frame. We are trying to like convert, looking at this, right? Let me bring it here. Can you see this? You can see the line here is purple. Can you see this purple line? This purple line, it means it is a component. But the moment I duplicate this and detach it, it becomes a frame. Can you see? There's a difference between this blue. Blue means a frame. This is a frame. But this one, it means it is a component. And the reason why I'm trying to like detach this is because I want to be able to use this again. There's something called reusable components. So I'm trying to like reuse this particular component for different actions to be performed. That is the meaning of this detach. You're trying to like convert your components to a frame. Did I answer your question? It means the component don't have control over it. So let me start again. Okay, was the icon group with the text before? So what icon are you talking about? Or does it touch me to remove it? No, it doesn't mean it means I'm removing the components. Yes, doesn't have control over it. The moment I detach a component, it means everything. I've already converted to a frame. So that is what it means. So where are we? So let me try to see if it's okay. So the moment I click on this, I have this. So do we understand the interaction now? So it's nothing serious. If I click on this plus icon, I have this. So that is for my plus, for my floating action. We could also have a floating action for other stuff like this. Can you see? This is a floating action. So it doesn't have to be a plus icon. You can see this is also a floating action. Make a sale. That is a floating action. So that is for my floating button. What's next? We are moving on to Eclipse. So what Eclipse does is, for example, they mostly use it in web, right? Like I said, I use this to set an illustration. If I click on objects, I have all this, right? I see all this. If I click on text, I have all this. So that is the same thing we are trying to like create here, right? So look at this. The moment I click on services, it's going to show this. Do you understand? So, do I need to explain this? I'm not sure there's a reason why I need to explain this. Do I need to explain this? I think it's just the normal thing we've been doing. The just our component and text, right? So this is just in case you don't want to create this, you could also create something like this. Let me see if I can. Let's say, for example, this is yeah. So it just depends on the kind of layout you want to use, right? So let me ungroup this and frame for 32. Then give it a white color. Um, so so do you understand this? It's just the same thing we've been doing for this one also. But I'm not using a component here because I don't need to switch between components. So you can either use this format or you use this. I think this is horizontal and this is a vertical alignment. So it depends. So for Eclipse, what you could just do is just I don't want to touch prototyping because you guys are not familiar with prototyping. What is the major difference between creating for mobile and creating for for creating, I don't this question is applicable for all questions. So what exactly are you trying to like say? What difference exactly? So what is the major difference between what difference are you talking about? So the thing is, when I click on service, right, click on prototype, then you see this line that comes here. Do you get? So let me remove this one and start again. So for example, I have this one. When I click on this prototyping, you see this arrow, then drag it to this one. Do you understand? So from here, you click on, maybe you want to make use of click action, or you may want to make use of Y hovering. Why hovering? It means the moment I hover through this, it shows this. But the difference between, okay, I'll show you the difference between click and Y hovering. So if you just try to open overlay for this, so we're going to use open overlay for this particular feature, right? So if you just use manual open overlay, then you could just try to set it. Try to set it here. Do we get? So I don't know. This is going to look more convincing to you guys because this is a different class on its own. This is a prototyping section. So let me just show you what I'm just trying to show you what an Eclipse is all about. So let me try to play this and show you what I mean by Eclipse. So it's just about you hovering on this, it showed this. So that's just nothing much about Eclipse. Can you see it? If I remove my mouse from it, it goes off. If I hover on it, it shows. Do you get? So I think let me show you a website that has this particular feature. Revolut. I think Revolut has this feature. Let me open it for you guys to see. Revolut. Um, okay, can you see this is good example of Eclipse? Can you see this? This is an Eclipse menu. Can you see? You can see that I did not click it though. I actually overthrew this. So you guys can also open this website on your laptop. Just click on overthrough this persona, you see this. Overthrough this, you see this. Think Stripe also use the same thing. The lot of products uses Eclipse menu. Let me see. I'm not sure. Okay, can you see this also? This is an Eclipse menu. I overthrew this Eclipse menu. You can see they also make use of different kinds of. Can you see? This is an Eclipse menu. So, do we understand what Eclipse menu is all about? Um, Prototyping is our next topic. Okay. So, okay, prototyping is the next. So, it will be easy for you guys to understand what prototyping is all about. So, so that's for Eclipse. And for notification, let me bring in our notification menu. So nothing much about notification as well. So for notification, it has to do with prototyping as well. So sorry, I won't be leaving this product here because this is a client project and it's not something I want to leave here. So when I'm done with this class, I will have to delete it. So like I said, it's just an interaction as well. When I click on notification, what do I want to see? I want to see this for, let me prototype it. Can you see? It is prototyped already. On click. So I'm just trying my best not to touch prototyping. So I don't want to like move to a different topic entirely. So in as much as I open this, I click on notification, I see this. So if I'm not a new user, I'm going to see this. So this is a notification. And I'm sure we don't know what notification is. Let me come to Bumper. I think notification. Bumper has this notification on their website. So let me try to log in. All right, so this is a notification. Can you see this? If I click on this, it tells me that I have no notification. I have no notification because I am a new user. I have not interacted with the product. Do we understand? So if you guys can just try to like check other products as well that has this notification thingy. So that's for notification. For mobile, so there is nothing much also for mobile. Mobile also it has to do with interaction, and I'm trying my best possible not to touch this notification. Do you get? So let me try to bring it to the playground as well. Can you see this? So let me see. I think I've prototyped this. You can see how to create an interactive component for this as well. If I click on this one, okay, let me just try to prototype this. If I click on this, I want to have this one, right? So I have this. There is no need for me to create a prototype here. Reason is because I've prototyped this notification here. So I could just do this. Like, can you see this is an interactive component? So let's try to play this. So if I click this, oh, okay, let me see what's wrong. Let me try to copy this. So this is for a new user. So let's assume I'm not a new user. I could just try to come here, change it to field. Do you understand what I just did? So it's just the same thing. What I did. Okay, tap bars, right? which I'm trying to like switch between component. That is just what I did there. So what I'll just tell you guys is you can just try to learn more about components, learn more about auto layouts. It actually makes your work easy when trying to like design any product. Do you understand? So you can just like switch. If I want to switch this to an empty state, I can switch it back. Do we get switch this to field states? So that's all for notification, and that's the end of our class. Do we understand everything I've just said? So I'm just trying my best possible not to take you guys on prototyping because it's a topic on its own, and I'm trying my best possible not to do that. So do we understand at least? We all have an insight about what this navigation menu is all about. So if someone just call, okay, maybe Nifemi, can you explain what navigation is all about? I'm sure we'll be able to like explain it, right? So that's the end of our class. Do we have any question? Okay, thank you, Julius. I'm glad you all enjoyed the class. Um okay, so do we have, yeah, I will, Edwina, thank you so much. um Okay, do we have any other question? All right, so the section will be very much available for you guys to watch on YouTube. How to fix floating action. So there is nothing much about floating action, right? It's just for you, it's just about placement. Can you see what I did there? I just placed it here. Nothing much. Where is it? Okay. So for example, I just come here and put it here. So that's it. Nothing. Let me just try to remove my grade. Can you see? I have my floating action already. So it's nothing, there is nothing much about the floating of a thing. So that's it. Do we have any other question? So I'm expecting you guys to practice more on navigation, practice more on components, on auto layouts. I'm sure you guys are going to do very well. So thank you guys for joining this session. Okay, thank you, Abidemi. Thank you, everyone. I think we are done with this class. Sorry, we are 2 minutes late. Yeah, but then thank you. Bye. Do have a good day ahead. Yeah, I will, Nifemi. Thank you.